Within data protection legislation, many obligations are placed upon organizations who process personal data. They must adhere to fundamental principles such as fairness, transparency, and data security, and respect the rights of individuals such as their right to receive a copy of their information and have incorrect information amended or deleted. The legislation does not, however, just state that data controllers and processors must comply with the legislation, but that they must be able to demonstrate that they are compliant. This concept is referred to as the notion or principle of accountability. The accountability principle expects organizations to have in place adequate record keeping, systems, governance, and oversight to both be compliant and be able to evidence compliance, and this can be achieved in the following ways. Leadership and oversight. Organizations must ensure that senior management are responsible for data protection and information governance matters, and a data protection or privacy officer is appointed to monitor compliance activities on a day-to-day basis. Policies and procedures. Have in place relevant, proportionate policies, procedures, and guidance notes for staff to follow. Training and awareness. Ensure staff are trained to a suitable level for the sensitivity of personal data they are handling, and ensure accurate training records are kept. Individuals' rights. Ensure that individuals can activate any of their rights and that all staff know what action to take when a request has been made. Transparency. Ensure that individuals are given clear information about how their information will be used, for example, in a privacy policy, and keep records of any historical privacy policies or permission statements. Records of processing activities and lawful basis. Controllers must keep details of what data they are processing, why, where it is kept, for how long it will be retained, who it will be shared with, and on what lawful basis it is required. For example, with the individual's consent or under a legal obligation. This document is usually referred to as a ROPA, which stands for Records of Processing Activities. Contracts and data sharing. Organizations must have in place written agreements whenever data is shared between different parties, often referred to as data sharing or data processing agreements. Organizations must maintain accurate records of these agreements. Where international transfers are made, additional measures must be taken, which are detailed in our other videos. Risks and DPIAs. Organizations must follow the legislation's privacy by design concepts, meaning risk assessments are performed before any data processing can take place. And the data protection or privacy officer should identify risks and manage the organization's risk register. Records management and security. Records can be held in many formats and in many locations, and accurate records of this information must be maintained. Appropriate, reasonable, and proportionate security must be applied to each record set. Breach response and monitoring. Finally, to comply with the accountability principle, organizations must monitor their systems for potential or actual security breaches and have in place a system for dealing with them, and, if necessary, reporting to the Data Protection Authority and/or data subject. In summary, to comply with the accountability principle, you need to have in place appropriate governance, oversight, and record keeping to ensure that you are not only compliant with data protection legislation, but can prove it. If you'd like to know more about the accountability principle, get in touch. We love to chat.